Hello everyone else, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to talk about 15 things I wish I knew in my 20s. So the situation is not very reasonable and not very aircraft here, but I'm going to tell about my situation and maybe I can give the ideas which I told it before. Lastly, I'm just writing a book. Approximately I have done just about maybe, let me think about it, 100 and some like a 160 key words I have been done, but mostly I'm just trying to write approximately 600 key words, so it's going better for me just trying to write a great amount of the bunch of words. For example, I want to just pass the Victor Hugo's, the mostly known publishings, so it's going to be better for me. So in my 20s, everyone tells you that this is best things of time, your most energetic years, your most creative years, but no one tells you like how confusing it feels. Mostly in my early 20s, I'm just trying to understand other people's. I'm just getting older. Whenever I'm just checking the situation, I need to understand, I need to resonate with my ideas. It's not going to be easy just getting used to these ideas and trying to be famous on the internet. Just analyze yourself and check the situation from your perspective. If you're asking my opinion, I have always wanted to live in Japan, just going to Japan, but I couldn't make my dream come true. That's the reason why I'm complaining a lot. But I get used to this situation because there is an inflation crisis, my family were so poor, and I didn't have any backup. And whenever I'm seeing some people need to work and some people can travel around the world easily, I've seen an influencer who came to Turkey, was recording the videos, but all the Turkish people are just working from morning to night, just serving to this kind of the tourists. It is everywhere else same. If you are just living in a third class country, if your country is underdeveloped, mostly you need to just do a good behavior to the tourists because mostly the economy can grow with the tourists and they need to just act them peacefully because the money is come from the tourists. Even in the just Thailand, if the Thailand economy wasn't so good enough, probably mostly people wouldn't be just treat the other people well because I think Thailand is a very conservative culture and Thailand is not very open to foreigners. But if the country is getting worse and getting worse economically, probably they need to open their borders and they need to just respect other cultures as well. So here another things which I was just thinking about it for a long time. Maybe we can give an example for it, but it is better to understand the situation with my own first view. So here the things which I wanna just say directly to you. So no one just like that. This is not a fucking advice from me. I'm not going to giving any advice, and I'm not going to talk about you need to do that. You need to just check a just doing list, and you need to create the things from harder to easy or easy to harder. It is not going to be happen like that because everyone has different kind of lives in the end. So mostly it is better to embrace your lives rather than just comparing yourself. But I'm not going to say lie. I'm also just comparing my situation to others. Sometimes it's going to be really, really hard. Mostly I'm not very just like satisfied with my position enough. Whenever I'm checking to people around the world, they are traveling, they are just going to look through places. And when I'm comparing my situation, it's going to be tough. For example, let's think about Egypt. Egypt once upon a time was a very beautiful country and was a very rich, but after the imperialism came to Egypt, the Egypt people have been demolished already and their economic crisis has been destroyed the country all. Even the child labor is being valid anymore in Egypt. Even the just children need to work in Egypt for their own families. So it's gonna sound like a crime there. If you are poor, you shouldn't just make babies. Even in Egypt, even in India, even the other countries or the third class countries as well. For example, think about Nepal. Even the people are in Nepal or in other countries, they are trying to make more babies. I have checked the data and analyzed that if you are poor, you have more potential to make babies rather than comparing the first or the second class nations. So I have just a toothache. I'm so sorry for that, but my tooths are just paining. I have always wanted to do a relationship in my 20s. I'm also 26 years old. I couldn't make any relationship. That's the reason why I'm just complaining about why I don't have any relationship and why I don't have it. So there is no answer, and we cannot answer this quickly. Maybe the appearance, maybe the money, maybe another factors are just very best idea here. But while I'm just getting colder with my teeth edge, so the situation is not the easy peasy here, and it is not what I expected before. So I want to just give you the first advice, which I wish I know in the early 20s. Is the first one is the time is not your own side on your side. The time is not on your side. In your 20s, the time feels infinite. You think you can restart anytime, that mistakes doesn't matter, that one more year won't change anything, but time doesn't disappear dramatically, it disappears quietly. 1 year becomes three, three becomes five, and sudden effort feels heavier than it used to. The danger isn't failure, it's delay. I wish I knew that time doesn't punish you loudly, it punishes you subtly by making everything harder later. So, even when you don't understand, even when you just complain about the situation, it's really real, bro. When we are just getting older, we can easily analyze and understand that. Mostly we are just passing the years and we think that we have more time. No, even just when you're just getting into the tandem chat or another chat conversations, when people are just saying you want a relationship and they're asking your age and you are the 20 or 25 21, and the most of the fucking Asian people, the fucking Asian ugly girls are saying to you are so young. Mostly don't listen to them. You are not so young just making a relationship in your 20s, so it's the very exact time to make a relationship exactly. But here the issue is arising. Your country, your passport value, your appearance, and your wishes cannot be sound like a very appeal for others. Maybe your expectations are so different from each other. Maybe you want to make your life better than others. Maybe you want to just make your dreams come true. But in the meanwhile, some people want to be just exchange themselves in another position. They want to just out from their positions. Some people will going to just do that. Some people will not going to do that. That's the set size. So if you just think about the time will not be just opt for you. So you cannot catch the time, and if the time is catch ups, and if you cannot catch the time, it's gonna be sad for you. According to my opinion, if you have a still time, you need to do the things what you are doing every time. For example, even you are just complaining about being a philosopher, you need to make a career about being a philosopher because the time is very time like short. So in a short time, it is better to do the things. Meanwhile, just comparing yourself with the others, you need to choose a one career rather than just choose jumping to others. I have seen a lot of the different kind of people, and some people even have a career in NASA, in the other things as well. Maybe they made a great success on it, but it is not valid for everyone else. That's the reason why you need to understand the situation first. So the other things like talent means nothing without structure. Maybe we can think about the two football players. The first one is Messi. The second one is Ronaldo. Messi have this burn, something like a. Messi is a very great talent because of his burn. When he was just coming into this world, he just burned with the talent. But Ronaldo didn't burn with the talent. He made a great effort just in order to just achieve the things when we are comparing the situation between the Messi. So he tried to put in a lot of efforts rather than a Messi, and sometimes he even just comparing the position between Messi. But if you are asking my opinion, Messi will always have been better than Ronaldo. Why? Mostly an easy answer for it that people trying to make the very born talent like it is better than the like something like a artificial talent. So Ronaldo is also very good, and maybe he is also doing a lot of goals. Maybe he have a lot of this poses, and he have a lot of talent as well. But it is not same as the Messi because Messi is a great talent and he has a very natural talent rather than the Ronaldo. Ronaldo's talent is some like a not natural. It's just more effort talent. So it's so different here as well. So when the things are not just getting in your side, you are trying to understand it and you are just trying to give the meanings. I'm sorry, guys. I have a headache and my teeth are achieving a lot. So even the beauty standards aren't just changing for country to country. If you are not beauty enough, if you are not handsome enough, the life is not going to do things which you expected. So the talent means nothing without structure. If you have a self-burn talent or the self-esteem talent, it is better. For example, you like to do the taekwondo, karate, kung fu, or other sports as well. But in the end, it doesn't give you any value if you are not doing it with a discipline. Most of the discipline can just conquer you and just can make a decisions about you whether you're gonna be successful or not. Did you see anyone else just doing the things without a discipline? If you don't have any discipline, probably you cannot be successful on anything else. Even just writing a book, even just doing a sport, even something like recording YouTube videos. The discipline mostly can decide what you can do, what you cannot do. So even in this cosmos, in this or universe, the reputation is so important, and the intention is also important as well. I'm sorry, guys. I was just like I had thought that like so sorry. Sorry. I have just made appointment between the doctor, but my appointment date is a bit of late, so I'm just waiting for the exact appointment date. Here, I will just pull out my teeth here. The people who win aren't always smart, as I mentioned that before. Even you wanna just win your structure, you are not talented. And when you think about the politicians, maybe the politicians can be successful, and you think like they can do anything else, and they are so smart. Actually, they are not smart because mostly they are just getting into the impression and they are just controlling the image first. And when you think about Hitler didn't think that he can be successful enough in the German society. But meanwhile, while he was just continuing his just speeches, his propaganda, some people that supported him. Because of this, some people supported him. He continued, and some people became the more. That's the reason why how he made a success on it. Mostly, if you want to be successful, you need to understand a small amount of the people. If you cannot control the 1,000 people, you can also control the 2,000 people. The first thing, you need to understand your audience, your exact message. After you have understood your exact message, you can find the easy conclusion for yourself. So the third one is no one is coming to save you. It's a very motto sentence for me. I have been just using this sentence meanwhile and just in my mornings, in my nights before just going to sleep. If you are a man, if you are a lonely man, life is really tough for you and nobody is going to come up and save you. If you have also living in Turkey, which is a third class country, you need to just compare yourself between the Europe and the Russia, the other first well-developed countries as well. So the situation is not easy peasy because when you are comparing yourself with others, most people will going to underestimate your power and underestimate your energy. If you are not successful enough, you will get made fun of with you, and you are just trying to understand this issue. And when you accept or not, this making fun of is real. So mostly you need to get used to the situation before you're just trying to act differently. So your ideas, your point of views can be different. And some people can accept and some people cannot accept. At the same point, you are waiting for recognition, for validation, for someone to notice how hard you are trying. How hard you are trying, that moment never comes. And when you finally realize no one is coming, it hurts, but it also frees you. Responsibility is heavy, but it is the only thing that gives you control. Being alone with your decisions is terrifying, but it's the start of adulthood. Exactly, when we are just trying to getting adult and getting into the real life, we are just suffering a lot. Even in a work environment, colleagues, when we are just getting into the university, it's the same everywhere else. We need to compete with the other people, we need to dictate our ideas to other people. Sometimes it can be very heavy. Maybe you cannot able to carry this something like this heavy confusion and heavy ideas as well. But mostly here, whenever I'm just checking the situation, I have always wanted to go to the clubs, just going to hang out with the girls, but I couldn't do that. That's the reason why I'm complaining a lot, and some people have always able to do that because they had enough money, they had enough power passport, but my passport value was so low. That's the reason why I couldn't attend to any just a nightlife, any clubs. So it's so sad for me because I'm just watching the people on the internet like a third eye. So I'm just being jealous of them. And when I cannot do anything because I'm just get used to this situation because I'm Turkish. I'm not very valuable in this world because if you are born in a third class country, it's really hard. Even though other people don't see you as a human being, we cannot change it. So it is better to get used to it because I have always wanted to go to another country, but they didn't want the Turks. Even I was seeing some propagandas in Japan, some like maybe his name is what Ken. He was just talking about we don't want Turks, like Turkish people don't come here, etc. Actually, he was representing that idea in the Japan. Also, Japan doesn't like the Turks. What we can do, brother? I'm Turks, and if they don't let me to ally, what we can do, brother? What we can do? Just I'm just ally because of my race, because of my station. They are judging me. There is nothing to do, brother. You cannot change their minds in the end. Even you just give them the best opportunity, they won't change. I'm sorry, but my teeth really achieving like here. And when I just get a fucking disappeals, it didn't happen a lot. So I'm so sorry for myself. So the fourth is the most people are just as lost as you. So it is better. Whenever I'm just stopping to speak and stopping just talking about these issues, I'm being understandable for others. Everyone looks confident from the outside, especially online, and they are just making these fake profiles and they think themselves very, very some like a confident, but they are not. Careers, relationships, success stories, but most of it is performance. Mostly in the social media, mostly on the social media and other platforms, we need to show ourselves as a successful candidate, not because only we want to be successful, but also we want to persuade the other people we are also in a success, and you guys need to just follow us. You need to just offering someone else the value here, and you think like you are just putting something to valuable to table, but actually it is not because you have only the fake balloon and you are just making your balloon and just giving out of helium your balloon, and then you are just boom 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 and just getting boom, and you are just making your balloon just bigger bigger bigger, and in the end it's getting boom, it's going to just like some like a just getting dull. That's the reason why you are just going to analyze and understand the conclusion in the end. So people don't post confusion, they post conclusions. Even on the social media, people just going have tendencies to share the things which they have just getting success. No one is talking about the that. Nobody's talking about the people who have their loss. But I think the loss is there special for everyone else. For example, even my some like my how can I say my the nightbird have just lost their kin, but I don't give a shit about it because I have also lost my kin. Whether she just my nightbird help me, no. So what the fuck I'm going to help him as well. So there's no situation issue. People don't post confusion; they post conclusion. Even in the situation, mostly people have tendency to just share the things very positive. They don't want to be negative on the social media or the another platforms as well. The negativity has been died already. Mostly we are just consuming time very fast and we are being so fast. That's the reason why we are losing its value in the end. The time is just losing this value, and meanwhile, like we are just living in the performative society. Everything should be performative. And when you are just going to funeral, you are just making makeup before you go there. So what's the point of just going to funeral? Everybody just aren't everyone just trying to remember to that? No, mostly people just going to funeral in order to just make more stories and getting more reels for in the funeral, or maybe someone else just getting more free meal there. So it's not a changeable situation. Most of the people are trying what they can do the best for themselves, and some people can achieve on it, and some people will not do that. That's the reason why what I'm complaining a lot. I wish I knew that most people are improvising, making decisions without certainty, hoping things work out. You are not behind, you are just human. You shouldn't forget that everybody is using, and not everyone else very smart as much as you think. Most people are just doing and they are following the path rather than just calculating everything. Nobody is calculating everything, brother. You think like they are calculating everything, but it's not. They are just creating an imagination, they are creating an image, and this image can just replace with the reality. And after reality has changed, you are just believing the fake truths rather than just getting the real truths. So we are living in the post-truth age, and after the truth is that mostly we are creating the post-truths and we are just believing that. So on the social media and the social platforms are misleading you and they are manipulating you. And when you don't want to get manipulated, you are getting into the manipulate already, so it's being so easy for it. Even someone else, after just I said it, most people going to say the same things and you are getting manipulated by the media. Everyone in the end is getting money, brother. Even me, they don't care about you as well. So we're going to talk about the facts and reals, right? So the fifth one is hard work doesn't guarantee success. That's what I wanna say a lot. We are taught that effort equals results, but it's not. It doesn't. Hard work increases probability, but not certainty. Maybe your potential can be more than ever, and you can just rise your potential, but it doesn't give you any guarantee your potential will be concluded as something like a great amount of success. But it is not. Some people work hard and fail. Even just think about my station. I'm just recording 1000 videos. Approximately, I'm going to just pass the 1000 videos. But no, I'm still in the 2000 subscriber. Nobody's subscribing my channel, so I'm just trying to record video videos. Maybe one day my channel can blow up. They can explore my channel. I can just find someone else from Finland, Norway, or Germany. I can just find a girlfriend from this first or the second class nations, and I can just move on there, and I can just out from the Turkey and can live in a peaceful life in the first or second class nations. That's the reason why I'm just recording videos in order to try my chance. Everybody's trying their chance. Once upon a time, I have always wanted to get married or get engaged with someone else from Japan, but it didn't happen. That's the reason why I'm so angry about the situation, but there's nothing to do. First, we need to understand the situation. Even we don't like it, we need to just put something to the table, valuable. But I'm not putting something to the table, valuable, because I'm just complaining about the situation a lot. I'm just writing my book. I'm just focusing my book while I'm just getting older. Angry old uncle who is Ensari. I'm 26 years old. I'm so angry about the life and other things because his life didn't give me anything. Also, I didn't expect the life to give me anything. So there's nothing. We are the both sides are suffering, right? So the some like other success with less effort but better timing. So we are only seeing the successful people in the world, but it is not giving you a guarantee. So this, I also wanted to just go to America. I also wanted to do a lot of sex between the people, between the girls, but I couldn't do that because I'm living in the Middle East. So if you are living in the Middle East, you cannot change your position, change your class. You can only watch the other people around the world. They are traveling while just going to other countries because they are not Turks and they have the better passport than you. So it's so hard for us. Though this doesn't mean effort is useless, it means the world isn't fair. I wish I knew this early, not stop trying, but stop blaming myself for everything. I'm not blaming myself in that, but sometimes the things which we cannot handle can be happen and can just lead us to in a very bad mood. If you are not beautiful enough as a girl, probably you won't be chosen. You wouldn't be chosen. If you are not a rich man, as a financially, probably you wouldn't be chosen as well. Maybe we can going to just opposite this idea. It's also understandable, but firstly, we are just talking about the basic facts and we are talking about the general things. And if you are thinking about the generals, the beautifulness and the money are so just in a some like a truth percentage and truth just like a rate. Yeah, and there's a fucking like the direct rate here, and you need to understand the rate. If the beautiful size getting higher, the money will going to get higher as well. There is some like a equal rate here. So the other things I want to say directly to you: money free is freedom, not luxury. Everybody is talking about money is a very bad thing, and we shouldn't get a lot of money. And it is better to live in the minimalism, but some people are going to talk about that. It is really shit, brother. Money is everything. For example, even you before just getting married with someone else, or even you before dating with someone else, if you don't have enough money, nobody will going to date with you, and you are going to be a great artist like me, just recording the fucking YouTube videos on the internet. So there is nothing an easy choice here. Easy choice, hard life, hard choice, easy life. Yeah. I used to think caring about money was shallow. It is not. Money isn't about status. It's about options. It is about saying no, living best situations, buying time, Lack of money creates silent stress that affects every decision. I wish I understood earlier that financial stability is not great, it's psychological safety. Even before just thinking about the financial success, maybe money is not everything, but it is something. For example, if you don't understand the Maslow hierarchy, I want to just think about the pyramid. So if you are at the bottom, if you don't do some like a basic requirements like the bed, meal, clothes, you shouldn't even just go to the church, and you shouldn't even go to the mosque. You need to just fulfill your basic requirements first. So the another thing is we are not thinking about the money is not important or something like money is important, but we are also not think about the money is everything. Yeah, money is everything, but in a somehow not. For example, you are earning a lot of money as a president, but you have a lot of money like than you imagine. But you need to just keep your image safety. That's the reason why you cannot go to the nightclubs. You cannot spend this kind of money because you are the president of the country. You are representing the country. That's the reason why. Even you just make a lot of money. If you cannot spend this kind of money, there is no value here. You need to create your own business in the end. Even the media, the news are just getting by the presidents and by the political parties, and they are leading this kind of media for their own sake. Everybody is doing that. Even the news channels are doing that. So mostly we are just getting the manipulated because we like to get manipulated till the getting a war situation. Yeah. So the lack of money creates silent stress that affects every decision. I wish I understood earlier that financial stability is not greed, it's psychological safety, as I mentioned that. So the financial freedom is a better thing. Maybe you are just financially in a normal mode, it's understandable, but also people who can travel around the world, they have just gained their financial uh, independence. If you want to just be independent by the financially, you need to create something valuable, and it should be valid in every time. For example, just recording a video like me, 15 things I wish I knew earlier. Everybody is, for example, someone else just recorded a video about 13 things I wish I have knew in my 20s, something like that. Mostly people just, if you check about the YouTubers, they are recording the same concepts and they are just stealing their videos from each other. So every time whenever I see this kind of things, I'm just suffering, but it is normal. If you're asking my opinion, I wish I have also wanted to go to the Shinjuku, Shibuya, be a content creator there, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't be an interviewer there. I'm just sitting at my house and just waiting to die. Some people will going to do the things exactly, but some people cannot able to do that. Sometimes I'm asking myself, is it worth trying, or should I give up? I'm just getting colder and I'm going to try to social media till my 30s. If my book can be published, I have a chance to get be famous like the J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter, but she also just get married to someone else from Portugal, who is the writer or the editor in a newspaper. So she came back to England and she applied for the celibacy salary for the government, and she just leave off with the celibacy salary. It is understandable. It will better if you are a girl. You cannot get the out of salary by the government when you're being a single mom salary. So the another thing we wanna mention that your degree won't save you. It is same everywhere else, and you are just not going to talk about this issue for a long time. For example, we grow up believing education is protection. Sometimes it is. Often it isn't. It isn't, friends. A degree doesn't guarantee relevance. The world changes faster than institutions. What matters is adaptability, learning how to learn. Rebuilding yourself when plans fail, your identity cannot depend on one title. Yeah, exactly. If you're just thinking about the doctor, aesthetic surgery doctor, maybe dentist, you have more chance than ever because you are a dentist. It is your occupation is valid everywhere else. If you're just thinking about the sociology, psychology, or some like a history degree, maybe you can just get into the porn industry like the Mia Khalifa did it before. But if we are not talking about some like adult movies here, it is not like a different kind of position here. If you want to get into this industry, you fucked up, brother. You shouldn't even study history. So maybe you can just study history about the Pornhub and other exams there. Maybe Wu Zhao, Miss Zhao, or something like that's different. If you are very handsome, or just like if you have the just some like a very muscles, you can just get into that business and you can fuck a lot of girls. But I couldn't fuck out, of course. That's the reason why I'm so sad, because I'm Turkish. I'm living in a third class country. What we can do here, because we need to just maybe use to our destiny. If we have a chance, we can change our country. If we don't have, we need to just use to our country decision, which is really hard for me, and I couldn't make my dreams come true. That's the reason why I really don't like it. So the other thing, rebuilding yourself when plans fail. Let's think about being a YouTuber. You need to make a lot of evergreen videos. What does the mean evergreen videos? Even after the 5 years or the 10 years, your videos can be get watched. Or another thing I want to mention that, for example, in lastly, mostly the other YouTubers or the media just pushing people to do the blue collar jobs, like being a pumper, being a carpenter, or maybe just being a car repairer. But this kind of jobs maybe can be very famous meanwhile in this year, maybe 2025. But after the 3 years or the 4 years later, this kind of occupations will be vanish. Why? Because most, if everyone just get into the construction work, if everyone just get into construction work, if everyone be a carpenter, if everyone just getting to the working in a some like a publisher, or some like a puber, or maybe just working in the some like a carpenter, probably the carpenter lose its value. And no, if there are a bunch of carpenters, and what they're going to do, they need to just change their occupations as well. Mostly you need to understand what will be going to happen after the 5 years later. If you can understand that, your situation will be better than others, and you can just understand the system. So the another thing I want to mention, that loneliness is not a fuss. So I thought loneliness would disappear with time, with friends, with love, with success. It didn't. Loneliness changed shape, but it doesn't vanish. Even surrounded by people, you can feel unseen. Mostly if you are very poor like me, you are invisible for the society. Nobody is talking with you. Nobody is coming up and save you. You are just suffering here, just sitting on a chair and trying to talk about the society, maybe talking about your ideas to your camera. So nothing is changeable. Mostly people are suffering on the internet, and they are just talking about their own struggles, their own desires, their own wishes. Nothing is just changeable here. Even thinking about the sacred books. The sacred books can just lead you something after just giving you meaning of what will going to be happen after that. But it is the same everywhere else. Every sacred books talking about the same story. Mostly they are just getting impacted by each other. For example, the Islam just getting affected by the paganism, or the Hinduism, something like Sikhism. In the Hinduism and the Islam is combination of Islam and Hinduism, Islam like Sikhism, maybe Shintoism. All the religions are just getting value with it, like some like avatar form. Think about the avatar. The last avatar have been impacted by the before the avatars as well. So the situation is just getting similar with each other, right? Right. So the loneliness changes shape, but it doesn't vanish. Even surrounded by people, you can feel unseen. Yeah, the real lesson isn't avoiding loneliness. It is learning how to live with it without becoming bitter. So it is very understandable topic if you just get used to being lonely. So your whole life will going to be easy. If you cannot get used to being lonely, mostly you are going to suffer all your entire life. So people are asking my question and my point of views here. So it is better to understand yourself first rather than just competing with others. Mostly your race should be just start with yourself rather than others. After do that, you have better guarantee to that. So another thing I wanna mention, and which is important, romantic love won't fix you. I believe love will complete me. Yeah, the love will complete me. I have also believe in this lie that the right person would fix the chaos inside. They didn't. Relationships amplify who you already are. They don't repair broken foundations. Expecting love to save you creates dependency, and dependency destroys intimacy. You must meet yourself before expecting someone else to. So mostly we are just believing that after we make a relationship, our life will going to be easier and everybody will going to be content with their relationships. But relationship isn't easy. Even in nowadays, girls' expectations are so high, and when we are comparing someone else, we are living in the old middle class like me. We are going to just understand the situation, and we are complaining about the situation, and we are just live in the same circle. We are going to a job, coming to house, going to job, and just going to university, coming to school, coming to dormitory. Every time when we are seeing the people, they are experiencing the same stuff, which is very common in the world. Just getting the salary and work. We are just working for in order to not being poor and not being the homeless. Whenever I'm just checking the American people, they were also saying that we are working in order to not to be homeless, and we are just one salary away from being homeless. Yeah, it's kind of a true, brother, because the America is a very capital country. If you just lose your job, probably you will lose everything. But mostly in this world, just thinking about if they lose their jobs, maybe some people just going to suicide. Why? Because that's the reason why I'm recording YouTube videos here. I have seen some of the people who have lost their jobs and they made a assassination and for themselves they committed a suicide. So we cannot stop it, and it's a very hard topic here. If you just addict to something, for example, in a relationship, if you are just getting married with someone else and you are very obsessed with her, after you broke up, the situation will going to be hard for you and you cannot understand it. That's the reason why your family cannot leave you, but your girlfriend can leave you. That's the reason why you shouldn't addict your girlfriend at the first. What we can do here, nobody is going to say it's easy. If you're just liking someone else who is very beautiful enough as a girl, you are just getting addicted and you are just putting into a lot of meaning to her. Nobody can going to away from this understanding. But if you need to understand the situation, you need to wait at least 1 month or 2 months before giving everything to a girl. If you just give every energy, if you just give your every moment, every concept of thinking to a girl, mostly you are going to lose her in the end. If the girl doesn't just step to you, probably she doesn't like you. So it is better to be away from her, not going to just talk with her. If there is no answer from her and you are just only calling to her like calling someone else, just maybe restaurant, if the restaurant doesn't call you back, mostly the restaurant doesn't like you, brother. So the situation here is very complicated and you need to understand what you can do and what you can achieve firstly. So the romantic love won't fix you, but I'm not sure about this lie. Sometimes I really believe in this lie and I really want to believe in this lie. I hope that romantic love will going to fix me. I have just watching some like a TV show which is like this, some like a TED. Yeah, maybe the TED also a great beer, but it's not about the TED. You, maybe everyone else just watched the You, who is very famous TV series in England. And the You is just very obsessive character for a girl, and he was just working in a bookstore. If you're asking my opinion, I have always wanted to work in a bookstore and being obsessed with a girl, but it didn't come out because I'm not very handsome enough, like the character of the You. Am I you? Oh, you? Who is you? That you. That sound like a very funny, fucking like the complete two, maybe some like other things as well. Your body keeps the score. Like maybe I'm going to. Did I just say it? Maybe we are going to say this better. Your body keeps the score. You can ignore your body in your 20s. Maybe I need to come back to like talking about the romantic love more. The last thing I want to say about romantic love, I have also believed that the romantic love is going to fix me. I have just fell in love with a girl last year. She was from Iran, but she just went to the Istanbul. I'm not sure whether she's alive or not, what the fuck she's doing, I'm not sure, but the situation is a little fierce, brother. If you are not famous enough, if you are not very rich enough, if you are not wealthy enough, girls doesn't take care about you. That's the reason why you can complain about the situation a lot, but it won't give you any solution at all. But it is good to complain about and still going to complain. What we can do it, just going to complain, and we are just going to understand one thing. If we can achieve, we are going to be in a good mode. If we cannot achieve anything, we are going to complain. That's all. Your body keeps the score, like as I mentioned before. You can ignore your body in your 20s, but it never forgets. So it is better not to just eating the harmful Cheetos or the cancerogen matters, some like drinking a lot of cola, but it doesn't also giving you any cancer. For example, I have seen some guy who is a very alcoholic, drinking whiskey, vodka, but he didn't go to behind of the world and he didn't go to the heaven or hell. But mostly some of my friends who are just not drinking any alcohol, any cola, he went to another world, he died early. So it doesn't give you a guarantee, but it affects the potential. Okay, we are just focusing on the potential rather than the fact. So rather than the basement or the facts. So the sleep deprivation, stress, bad habits. If you are not sleeping enough, mostly you are getting into stress, and you need to understand this. Mostly a good sleep gives us the better, non-stressful, livable life. So it is better to just get or sleep exactly rather than just trying about to do the things in a night. Mostly some people cannot just leave and cannot sleep at the nights. So it is understandable, but we need to just sleep better. And when you want to get to sleep, it is better to do masturbation. And after you doing masturbation, you can just sleep easily. Yeah, there are a bunch of potential, and then there are a bunch of facts here. So they accumulate quietly. On one day you wake up tired, not physically but deeply. I wish I treated my body not as a tool but as a partner. So if you are thinking about, if you are just working in a as a whore, as a hostel, as a brothel member, if you are working as a brothel, you will think like you get used to it by the other people as well. But if you don't act your body in a good way, if you don't do the sports, if you don't eat the healthy meals, you are going to suffer in your 40s or 50s. If you are drinking a lot of cigarettes, maybe some people will not understand me. If you are drinking a lot of cigarettes when you're just 20s, most when you get older, more the 50s, you will turn back to yourself and you are going to be so angry with yourself. Just drinking out of cigarettes won't bring you any value to you, and you won't be successful enough. So every time I have seen the people just saying about the same stuff in every world, but it's truth. The truth is repeating itself. Social media is a psychological weapon. Exactly. Social media isn't natural. It is designed to make you compare, to measure your worth in numbers, to feel behind. The problem isn't inspiration, it is constant exposure. I wish I knew earlier that distance from social media is not isolation, it is self-defense. So most I'm going to say like, is social media important? I'm not going to say it is not important. Social media is very making us weak and making us very discomfortable. Mostly everybody addict to their social media, even me. Are the followers aren't important? Nobody is going to say it. Like if you have the 1K followers, 100K followers in your profile or on your profile, you can just sleep with any girl you want. Maybe the girls can going to text you, so it's gonna be easy for yourself. So the situation is very changeable here. If you have enough followers, your life going to be easy. If you don't have enough followers, you're fucked up. Mostly the girls and the boys trying to get more followers on the social media, which is very understandable because we are just in a game and we are trying to surpass the others. So it's not easy peasy if you are not handsome enough. If you are ugly, you fucked up like me. If you are ugly, nobody will going to interest with you. Nobody will going to watch your videos. So you are going to compare yourself with the others, and you are going to complain about the situation. That's all. So the social media isn't just so very weak, and this is, I'm going to say this is very unimportant. Like that is very reluctant. It is some like a bet for the other people. But I'm going to say one thing: we are all using social media. When you are just checking my social media, I'm just sweeping out of the models, Instagram models. They are just living the best of their lives. They are achieving something, and they are just being so unique. Am I just jealous of them? Exactly, I'm jealous of them. Nobody will going to judge me, and nobody will going to underestimate me. So, but the situation is so different here. What the fuck? I'm just jealousing of them. They are sleeping with the rich people, and I'm just watching them in a tortoise. Mostly, if you're very poor, if you are not very attractive as a man, so you are going to compare yourself between the others, and in the end, the situation and the solution not going to save you. Mostly you are being too upset, and when you see the other people just doing sex a lot, but you are just playing the fucking video games, recording the fucking bunch of YouTube videos here. So the situation is not very good for you, brother. It's not very healthy in that. Nobody wants to be in my situation, brother. I think. Yeah, the other thing like the 12, the most advice is useless. Even I'm giving you advice like you should do that, you shouldn't do that, but mostly it's all the advice are useless in that because all the advices, even we are talking about giving advice to anyone else, we are not just operating and we are not maintaining in our lives as well. Mostly we are being a great talkers here and we are talking about the facts or the opinions rather than just doing and rather than just making realize and rather than just make it real. Exactly. Advice often comes from survivors, not from reality. If you have survived, if you have this something in your life, for example, if you're a pilot, your advice is very important about being a pilot. If you are just like a YouTuber, your advice is not very important about being a pilot because you didn't uh, fly any plane, but your dick. So it is so understandable, but it's also changeable, brother. If you wanna be my pilot, it's okay. If you any girls want to be my pilot, it's okay, understandable. But it's our secret. We can embrace the secrets. So the people explain success backwards, skipping luck and the context. What worked for them may destroy you. The only advice that truly matters is live experience. Mistakes teach more than quotes ever will. So most of the people trying to understand and trying to get more attention and trying to be unique in the real life or the social life or in the social media life. So people trying to create some facts and after that they are believing on it and they are trying it as a normal. But mostly it is not because of we are suffering, we are struggling. We want to create something very valuable for us. For example, even the idea of a God has been created by the other people, and they want to believe on it, and they tried their bestest for it. Why? Mostly they want to go to somewhere else before they dead, and they want to make their places very beautiful. I haven't dated someone else before, and I'm not sure about what is the dating of it and what is the meaning of behind. But I'm so struggling in this nowadays. Whenever I'm seeing the people, they are trying to achieve something, and they are dating with a lot of different people. So it is so sad for me. I'm just watching the people on the internet. They are can able to go to nightclubs. Well, I'm just recording the fucking YouTube videos. It is not fair, bro. It's not fair. Just even the playing the League of Legends and just watching the clock, waiting to die. Nothing is shit, brother. Some people getting a lot of attention and some people just suffering. Is it really what the life made us very in a different mode? Nobody wants to live in this mode and nobody wants to experience this stuff. And even some people in the Ukraine, especially the poor people dying in the Ukraine, but the rich people are just enjoying in the Antalya of the Turkey. So the same is everywhere else, and some people in the Ukraine just escape from the military because of they are just not getting collaborate with each other. And the things, if you're just thinking about your country, maybe the country won't going to think you back. When in a love, maybe you are loving someone else, but maybe she doesn't love you back. So is it very good to die trying or just trying for her? So I'm like, in my university years, I had just seen a girl who was very famous, who was very just beautiful, and when she had like some like 1,000 followers, I couldn't make a 1,000 follower yet, but I'm also just thinking about this issue. Well, she was doing anything she wants. She just was just hanging out with a lot of boys. And I liked her. She didn't like me back, and she didn't say me anything. Whenever I'm just watching her, I was just being some like a mother for her or some like mother for the other people as well. And when I'm going to just my job, and when I'm just going to university years, I was some like a mother for other people. So that's the reason why I'm just complaining a lot, and I'm not going to expect my situation here. Mostly, we are going to being sad. I'm just asking myself what I did achieve in my life and what other people achieved in their lives. Some people can able to go to the nightclubs, just traveling around the world, and just we are watching to them and we are suffering. So what is the reason behind of it just suffering? Am I just came to world to suffer enough? Not, but there is no advice, brother. I'm just getting to life lessons from myself. Most advice is useless, as I mentioned that before. Often overcomes for survivors, but it's tangible. So people explain success backwards, skipping and luck and context. What worked for them may destroy you. Some people can explain and give an advice for yourself, just work hard. But maybe it can work for them, for others, maybe it cannot work for you. It is changeable. You need to understand your situation first. The only advice that truly matters is lived experience. Mistakes teach more than quotes ever will. For example, we can do out of quotes and we can just get out of quotes from the writers or the authors, and we can say that this is better to us. We need to misoperate it to ourselves or lives. But in that, it doesn't give you any guarantee your life will be same with the others. Your life is different from others, and your expectations are so different from other people as well. So you need to understand what you need, what you lack, and what you can achieve in your life. So the other example, before just passing this example, I'm just giving the most advice is useless. So my situation is, if I just going to say those things, Most advice I use, but not all the time. But generally, yes. Mostly the advices, recommendations are changeable. So you need to embrace the time rather than just thinking about where we are. So the other thing I wanna say that the 13, you will change whether you want it or not. Exactly. Your values will shift. Your dreams will die. New ones will appear. Holding on to old identities creates suffering. Growth feels like betrayal to your younger self, but change is not failure, it's evolution. Whenever I'm thinking about this issue, it's being a very great normal idea here. Once upon a time, before my 20s, I have always wanted to live in Japan and I couldn't make my dream come true. That's the reason why I have complained a lot. I couldn't make my dreams come true. I'm being so sad for it. But there is nothing to do because of now I'm not making my dreams come true. Because of I'm suffering financially, physically, mentally, lowly. What we can do here, just only watching the screen, watching the walls, and trying to be exist here. I'm not sure, just recording YouTube videos in order to my own, not eating the rock and not eating something else different and just trying to just get bread here and just watching the monitor and recording the fucking YouTube videos. What we can do is just only a tell. I'm not giving you advice for that. So the other thing, just whether you want or not, I have also to feel myself a change because I give up everything else. Nobody's back up with me, nobody's support with me. So the situation just walking alone is not the easy peasy way. You need to walk alone and while nobody's supporting you, you need to walk alone, walk alone. Sometimes this process is just suffering a lot rather than just being myself. Sometimes I'm just losing my self-esteem. I couldn't go to another country recording the vlogs, and someone else will going to come up and say, "You don't have to just go to another country. Nobody's declaring who you are. Nobody's declaring your status." Fuck this kind of bullshit, people. It is my life and it's my wishes and my behaviors and my desires. My desires are so different from you, and I don't need to prove anything to you, and I'm just proving myself to myself at all. So even the shift is can be inevitable. I'm going to do the things in my way. No one can just come out to my way. Just get out of my way. Get out of my way. So it is, but change is not failure. It is evolution. Yes, sometimes it can be can't like that, and we need to understand maybe not all the changes are evolve into a bad situation. Some changes can make you positive. Yeah, if I want a positive robot, I will open some like a movie and I would like to watch a movie. So it's so different. What is the meaning of being positive? And there are a bunch of pros and cons, and you need to choose better for your own sake. So the 14, the mental health is not optional. Ignoring your mind doesn't make you strong, it makes you fragile. Surpassing emotions doesn't erase them, it strokes them. Asking for help isn't weakness, it is awareness. Yeah, I'm going to say the truth. No man is trying to get more help, and mostly the man's trying to hide their own real feelings, and they're not talking about the things between the society because they think that if they just be very open, society can judge them, and the society pressure can just affect them. So if you don't want to get affected by societal pressure, maybe you need to hide your real own feelings rather than just spitting out. So I cannot judge you, and I cannot make you very firm. Everybody is fragile in their inside as well. Even the mostly muscle man can be a fragile once upon a time. So surpassing emotion doesn't erase them; it stores them. We cannot understand the asking for help and ignoring your mind. And when we ignore our mind, just thinking about the past and thinking about style, what we couldn't achieve, what we couldn't done before. If you're asking my opinion, as I mentioned that before, I couldn't go to another country, I couldn't make any friends. I will stuck here and trying to watch the sky and trying to be unique here, but I couldn't be unique. That's the reason why I'm just feel so sad about my situation. Just watching the sky, watching the wall, and turning around in my chair. That's the only thing I can do is just turning with my chair, just right and left, right and left. That's what I will do emotionally. Sometimes my mental health is also collapsing, but there's nothing to do because of I'm not a wealthy person. I'm not rich enough. So the other things I want to mention that the meaning is but not found. My lastly, my last verse, my last advice is meaning is built, not found. Some people can create their own meanings in the at the first because they can start YouTube before 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and they have also create their own meanings by themselves. So it's changeable. If I have a chance, probably I would like to start YouTube before than ever. But there is nothing to do because we are just getting cooler. I am also just missing the Hatanayu, Kanamamonagi, Ayuhara, but I couldn't fuck with them. I couldn't fuck with this kind of people, and I couldn't fuck with them because in the Turkey there is not some like just getting a girlfriend, just going to nightclubs. So most of the people are just suffering economically here, and everybody is not happy here. If you have just been in the another country or the first or second, everybody happy there. But here in the Turkey, nobody is happy, so people are just struggling. But I don't care, give a shit about it because they also don't care about my station. Why I need to care about their station as well? If nobody is taking care about you, you shouldn't take care about them either. Yeah, if your company doesn't give a shit about you, so you shouldn't also probably don't give a fuck about your company either. It is the life of it as it is. You need to understand the life as it is. There's nothing to do behind of this world. So the another thing I want to mention before is like us finding a meaning. Is there any meaning in this life? Just trying to we are just finding and we are just creating and we are just living in the society. Maybe there's some like a nihilism, maybe the atheism, maybe some like agnosticism. What's this kind of value? Something think about Albert Camus, who is talking about Sisyphus, who is just making the rock from bottom to upstairs and upstairs to bottom. The rock evolution is very circling around the world, and we are trying to understand and we are trying to get the situation, but we cannot understand anything at all. Mostly we are just living with our own ideas, living with our own emotions. I want to think about the Prometheus, who are just getting harassed by their love and by the crow. So every time the situation is circling and people are going to live and die, even the governments can live and die. So in the situation, even the totalitarianism, like the Hannah Arendt mentioned that before, and the Spinoza core essence, like the Ethica and the other Martin Heidegger, Martin Heidegger, what was it he was talking about? Martin Heidegger was talking about the niche and design. Every time there are a bunch of different kind of philosophical concepts which I hate most, but we are just still continue to talk with them, and we are just trying to get more people and getting more attention. If people like the fucking psychology videos, they are getting more attention, and we are being famous at all. If you wanna be famous on the internet, it is easy to repeat all the things alive and just doing the out of copy reels, something like that. Maybe you can do that. I'm also doing that. But in the end, you need to just put something to table very different, which could haven't been done already. If you do the things have done already, you cannot find your value and you cannot just bring to table something. You cannot put something to table. Most people will going to complain about situation. You are not putting something to table, very essence and very unique. So even the girls try to understand situation. Most you are thinking like and saying that the girls, I have also date with someone else before. I have also date with a lot of girls, but it doesn't true. Maybe the girls can understand you, even your fucking words and even your just appearance, even your just the profile. So here the issue is we need to accept the life as it is, but mostly some people can be successful and some people cannot. If you love yourself, sometimes people are just going to talking about me. I'm not loving myself. The situation is not the here, brother. If I like myself or don't like myself, it is the situation, not it is. I'm just complaining about being lonely here, and I'm just living the existential crisis. And we are thinking like we need to love each other. Are you some like a Pollyanna or something else different? I'm not sure. So the last things like if you are lost in your 20s, you are not broken, you are not late, you are not failing, you are learning how heavy freedom really is, and that's okay. Sometimes we cannot say that it is not okay, but we are just getting used to this situation, and some situations can be weakenable and some situations can be appealing. There are a bunch of pros and cons in the end, but the people in their 20s, early 20s, it is better. The last 20s, it's sad because we are just approaching that by day by day. So it is better to bring something to table. Maybe just writing a book is a very great option for you. Mostly if you are asking my opinion, if you want to get remember all the time, you need to write a book to this society. If your book can be exist at least the 500 years or the 600 years, maybe they can still remember you, and it will be a great experience for yourself if you don't want to die. So if you don't want to die, just write a book. It's so better idea here. So I hope I can just finish my book, and I can just, because I cannot turn back my 20s again, because life is a once time. You cannot just catch the time. The time is very important here. So that's the reason why you need to do things by yourself, and you need to do the things on your own. Nobody will going to come up and save you. You cannot be light for yourself. Nobody can be a light for you. You need to find your own light by yourself. So thank you for watching me till now. I hope I will be very committable about my opinions. I will be very just talkable. I could be very explanation ideas just bring to you. But mostly we are going to talking about these issues all around the time. So thank you for watching until now. I became so happy till you guys just watch my video here. So see you on next video. I hope it will be very useful for yourself. You can just find any attractive moment here. Maybe you can just find something essence just similar with you. I'm not sure, because we are living in this world very different. Sometimes we are connected and sometimes we are separate. So it is better to understand the essence of the life rather than just questioning itself, because every essence is different from each other, and every essence is special for everyone else. Thank you for watching until now. See you.